Hi, I'm Eric Poulin.
And I'm Robin Poulin.
We're the co-founders of Calendar Budget, and welcome to the Calendar Budget Podcast.
I can pay cash, I can pay check, I can pay wire transfer, I can pay gift card, I can pay credit, I can pay anything you like. I can pay cash, I can pay check, I can pay wire transfer, I can pay gift card, I can pay credit, I can pay anything you like.
Okay. Money psychology is the topic of the day. So with money psychology, there's a couple of subtopics. Today we're mainly going to focus on something called social conditioning, which sounds like Russian brainwashing. Apologies to people from Russia. But what is social conditioning? What does that mean to you?
Social conditioning, I think that has a lot to do with where our ideas about money has started. Where did we learn that from? It begins from when we were small with our parents. What did they say about money? How did they use money? And did they use credit and things like that? Did they budget? Did they argue about money? Did they have enough money, have enough income to supply for their needs? And so if you see your parents lacking in any of those areas, then you won't even notice because you don't know that there's supposed to be something different.
That'll be your normal.
Yeah. As you grow, you might have ideas of your own that eventually comes in because of other people you go over to their houses with your friends, and you see things that they do and how they conduct their lives with money and use it to their advantage.
And it's very different.
Yeah.
Remember the first time you went to your friend's house and they're like, I'm allowed to do this, and I'm never allowed to do that at my house.
Yeah.
The rules are so different, and how you handle money is totally in that park as well. Like, people do different things in different families, entirely different. In fact, what I've seen is most parents don't tell their kids anything about money at all. They kind of keep it hush-hush, either because they're ashamed of it, or they just feel like they don't have enough education or don't have enough money, and never say much.
Yeah. They just kind of forget about it. Something I remember with the conditioning of our own kids, where we had 5 of them, we had to limit what they got to take as food because they were like locusts. They would descend and the food would be devoured. The juice boxes would be gone in no time. Just 1 per day, peoples. And they go over to their friends' houses. Oh, I got to have 3 juice boxes today. I didn't have to limit. Their family's so rich. Meanwhile, that family had 1 child.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a huge part of social conditioning. You're definitely right that it starts at home. There's more to it, of course. Social conditioning involves the greater community as well, and that's where the term "keeping up with the Joneses" comes from.
Yes.
Right? We see, as we visit our friends' houses as kids, we see what the Joneses have. The proverbial neighbor, and many times it seems like more than what we have. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just different. But even if it actually is more, that can be a little deceiving because people are, it's not always clear what somebody's possessions are compared to what their actual wealth is and what their actual financial situation is, which we'll get to a little bit later today.
Yeah, maybe they're putting in a new pool, but did they pay cash for that?
Yeah. Are they like totally in debt and unable to, like, just living paycheck to paycheck, as many people do? They just, when money gets in their pocket, it burns a hole in their pocket, so they have to spend it. Just a feeling people have.
And that's not generally something you go around talking to other people about. I live paycheck to paycheck.
Oh no, you're going to brag about your pool or your
brand new car,
your new pickup truck, or your big screen TV.
Yeah.
But is that really what you can afford? Usually not.
There's so many things that lure you in to want to have those things, though. You have advertising, and back of the cereal box, you want a new toy that goes along with decoding this, and different
cereal
commercials.
Boxes are infamous because, as a kid, I don't know if it's true anymore, but when I was a kid, I saw the back of those cereal boxes every day. Every day. And so with repeated exposure, like 30, 40, 80, 90, 1,000 times, suddenly I feel like I need that thing desperately, right?
The new action figure.
Exactly. Or the Lucky Charms action figure, the Lucky Charms plushie, whatever it is. It's ridiculous. Now, some of the social conditioning I've seen comes as good example of this is Christmas time. Mm-hmm. Right? Even adults, even parents will often ask their kids, what do you want? Mm-hmm. What do you want for Christmas? So we're taught from a young age to want things. It's like, what do you want? And if I don't want something, there's something wrong with me. So I need to fix that and want things. And you start looking through brochures and flyers and advertisements. And suddenly you have this sense of entitlement. Like, I've been asked what I want so many times. I feel like I should want things and I'm owed things at Christmas. And social conditioning, we teach our offspring this. And as a society, what do you want for your birthday? Your friends and family will ask you that. And you're just conditioned to want things all the time. You start to not only think that you're entitled to it, but you think you deserve it. Especially as an adult, or sometimes in kids too. Like, if I get an A at school, or if I do my errands, then I deserve a treat or an allowance or
some reward.
Yeah, exactly. Which can be dangerous. This word deserve, I actually hate this word. Like, I desperately hate this word. It is so abused in English language, probably in other languages as well. Mm-hmm. We don't deserve things. This is not a meritocracy where you earn love. You don't earn rewards. You deserve what you can afford only. Otherwise, it's a treat, and that it should be treated that way, not as something that has to happen. Giving gifts at a birthday or at Christmas shouldn't be like an expectation and that sense of entitlement. Like, oh, I didn't get my friend got a $1,000 gift and I only got a $500 gift, or my friend got
$50.
A $100 gift and I only got a $15 gift. It's ridiculous how people feel just entitled all the time. I see it a lot with even with our generation, but with the new generation, it's worse because media is like out of control. Out of control, teaching people that they need to do that. You mentioned advertising. So what are the advertising that you were thinking of when you mentioned that?
It comes in a few different forms, actually, where you see it on the commercials, in between videos, even if you are on YouTube and things like that. Now, what's the interesting thing I notice about it is when we were kids, Christmas, you see advertising maybe start November. But I think they probably are starting to think about putting Christmas stuff out at the end of the summer nowadays.
Definitely after Halloween.
Yeah.
Actually, in North America, anyway.
I've seen it even out as the Halloween stuff is in one aisle, you have Christmas stuff in another aisle. And it's not quite Halloween yet.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And so you're going around the aisles. That's another part of the advertising, the allure of things that you're seeing, the stuff that's on the end of the shelf, or that's at the kids' level, at the perfect height for the kids to notice that, hey, Mom, can I have? Mm-hmm. So that's part of the peer pressure that they feel there. And just the layout of the stores is to catch your attention with all the flashy colors and flashy symbols on the packaging, and just to hit all our senses that we just have to have it.
For sure. I remember taking our kids to the fair once and just describing to them as we were walking by it. We went in, actually, but we were describing, you see all these lights, guys, and these flashing things and the music and the smells. They're all there by design to extract the maximum amount of money for you for the littlest amount of time and effort. And that, it's not just fairs that are like that. You mentioned stores are like that. Anybody who has marketing, because we also do marketing as a part of our other business. We know people that are marketers are trying to extract money from you. In fact, there's a good quote. from a person named Stephen Butler, who said, advertising may be described as the science of arresting the human intelligence long enough to get money from it. Which perfectly describes it, to be honest. You're just trying to stop people in their tracks, get their attention, appeal to their emotions, and get that purchase.
Even as adults, I remember when the twins were being born, second pregnancy. We were there taking care of the babies just newly born, and we had to watch some training thing for, who knows, helping the babies that they do then. And we something else came on and we were watching and like, oh yeah, babies, gotta take care of babies. We're like, listen, let's just never get cable TV.
I know.
And yeah, that's something we lived by for a long time. And even when they wanted to give us a package, we're like, nope, sorry, skip it. We don't need those advertising pressures. And
the cable companies don't understand. But I'm giving you it for free. It's a good deal. No.
I want to not have cable TV.
It's not that I don't want it. I want to not have it.
Yeah.
Because I can't manage my life. It's so distracting.
Exactly.
I remember that decision. That was crazy.
There's other pressures that come up. Like when you graduate from school, you have these social pressures that come along that says, oh, I have to get my kid a brand new car as a congratulations for graduating. Different things like that. Or
keep up with the Joneses.
All the neighborhood is getting a new vehicle. My little beater now looks like even worse than it was before.
Yep. Not only that, there's lots of fads in advertising. If you remember, like in our younger generation, right, when we were kids, there was like Cabbage Patch dolls, which were like, you had to have it. And the stores would run out and you'd be like desperately going out the night before Christmas to buy this thing, or Tickle Me Elmos, or whatever the latest fad happens to be. These days, our kids are watching TikTok. And it's like they see their people that they follow, who they consider to be authority figures. Well, they're using this skin product, so I have to use this exact expensive skin product. They don't know that I'm sure getting, they're getting paid to use this on camera, right? They're influencers. Same thing with Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, anywhere where there's people with huge followers.
Yeah.
They're sharing products, probably getting paid to do product placements.
And some of them probably do legitimately love the product.
I'm sure they do.
There's probably some other alternatives that would be half the price that could do pretty much almost the same thing or do the same thing.
Definitely.
Or a combination of a couple of products. So you never know. You have to do your investigation on your own and test things out. Consult with people that you do know around you immediately and see what their experience is.
It's not always correct that there's a cheaper alternative. Sometimes the one that they recommend actually is amazing.
Yeah.
But you can't always just take it at face value. Sometimes, I would say most of the time, you got to do your research and not just fall for every whim of recommendation by an influencer.
Yep.
Because it doesn't always come from just altruism. They're often just getting paid. That's how they make their money, right? They're influencers because they have an audience and then they get paid to promote things.
Look for reviews.
Yes, exactly. But those things teach us, all of those things from parents influencing their kids, they teach us to want. And now we have this sense of entitlement, but it's not up to the advertising media to tell us what we want. We should be setting our own goals, our own priorities, our own agenda for what we want, and not just feeding off of, what we're told all the time. At least that's my opinion.
I agree. Something that came to mind is when our kids were little, you were talking about when they would get their birthday gifts. I remember people asking us, what would your kid like for birthday? I'm like, I don't know, actually, because they are well balanced. They don't just love Barbies. They don't just love art or love being outside. They just had this well balanced kind of mindset. And I think that's a good way to set up your kids, where they love a variety of things, that they enjoy being in that moment with that item or those people or whatever it is that they're doing, that they're not focused on like a hyper love of something that just takes over their
Yeah,
mind.
they're not like ultra passionate about one thing.
Yeah.
Balance.
So when something gets opened, they're grateful, because that gratitude is what fills you more than anything that could give you any feeling at all. That feeling of gratitude is far more value.
For sure. For sure. And you know what? At the end of the day, as social beings, and we're talking about social conditioning, what brings us happiness? It's not really the next gift. It's not money that brings happiness. It's...
Are you sure?
I'm
Money
sure.
brings happiness, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. Look at... So I've heard lots of examples recently in the news, but just look around you at celebrities or people that are rich. Are they exempt from the problems that people have?
No.
They're usually worse. It's multiplied and worse, right? They're subject to divorce. They're subject to bankruptcy, like
Depression, stress, anxieties, everything.
all of these things, but at a higher level sometimes than what we have. It's almost like their life is magnified in all places, not just their income.
Because they are under the magnifying glass, that everybody's watching them and they feel like they have to live up to that pressure.
Yeah, so the point is money doesn't bring happiness. Like, happiness comes from other places. And to be honest, I'm not even sure happiness should be the goal. You know, we have been researching happiness just personally outside of our business. And I've come to the conclusion that maybe that's not the right thing I should be focusing on.
It's a foundation.
Happiness is nice and great when it's here, but it's fleeting. And when it comes, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. But searching for a deeper meaning is where happiness comes. You know, what is your life about? What are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah, what motivates you?
Exactly. And those kind of things bring joy, they bring fulfillment, and happiness will be your companion from time to time, but it's unrealistic to be happy all the time. You know, people that are depressed feel like they're all constantly on a search for happiness. Mm-hmm. You're just not going to have it all the time. Nobody has it all the time. It's unrealistic.
Yeah.
And money isn't the answer.
No, money will bring you status. And combination of money and status, that make you feel satisfied that you've arrived. But then when you arrive there, you want more. You want more status, more, and more just means more responsibility. That it is a lot to carry on your shoulders. And I remember one time when we moved, we got rid of a lot of stuff. I think like 62 garbage bags full of stuff that we gave away, plus garbage alone. That was just all the kids' little toys with 5 kids. As the things add up, it felt so relieving to get rid of those things. You didn't feel responsible to be organizing and moving them around and picking them up all the time as they got scattered anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So social conditioning, to me, means all of these things. It's what society tells us that we're supposed to do. But I think as we set our own priorities, we're going to be better on track. Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts on social conditioning from you?
There was one other thought that I remember we recorded in our book, Power of Spending, Getting More for Less, that it said, it was from Henrik Isben. He said, money may be the husk of many things, but not the kernel. It brings food, but not appetite. Medicine, but not health. Acquaintance, but not friends. Servants, but not loyalty. Days of joy, but not peace of happiness. So I think what we need to do is not to be the slave to money, but for money to be the slave to us.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Recommendations then. How do we avoid being led by social conditioning? How do we have the willpower to overcome it? So a few recommendations that we've discussed. First of all, break away from these societal norms, right? Set your own priorities. Change your focus from what society tells you is important to what is actually important and meaningful to you.
For me, that would help to write it down. Write down what society is telling me, decide on my own what's really important to me, what I want to accomplish in this life, where I'm heading, where I want to head, and do those things line up with that?
Yeah. Another recommendation I strongly recommend is personally remove the word deserve from your vocabulary.
Yes.
I can't think of a time or circumstance when it's actually used correctly. Better to not use it, and when your kids use it, teach them that, do you really deserve it? Is that the right word? I don't think it is.
Deserve.
It fosters that sense of entitlement. So
that's what I was thinking.
Remove this word from your vocabulary, and it'll go a long way to getting on the path to breaking out of social conditioning.
Focus on gratitude. Forget the word deserve.
Exactly. Any other recommendations?
Children, make sure that you are teaching them from when they are young to understand the psychology of money well, that they can have a healthy relationship with money.
Yeah, it really is a psychology, and you can't start too young.
Mm-hmm.
It has value, and it can manipulate you, or you can manipulate it. And let's have us manipulating it, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thanks. Happy budgeting.
I can pay cash, I can pay check, I can pay wire transfer, I can pay gift card, I can pay credit, I can pay anything you like. I can pay cash, I can pay check, I can pay wire transfer, I can pay gift card, I can pay credit, I can pay anything you like.